Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma Hari Ananta Hari Katha Ananta. On this very, very special and auspicious day of Guru Purnima, the day when we pay our gratitude and thanks and our obeisance to the masters who show us the light, who lead us through our lives. On this very, very auspicious Guru Purnima day, I have the honor, the privilege, the pleasure and the blessing to bring to all of you, all my viewers, a new journey for all of us together. Since 2020, we have been traveling together on our life paths, although many of you, a large number of you, consider me, give me the honor and brand me as your master, as your guru, but I only bring you the light which comes from the higher Guru Parampara, from the Siddha Lok. We are all traveling together. Sometimes some of us are at a greater distance, some of us are behind. But then this forward and backward movement keeps rotating. So ultimately we must remember that we are all traveling together. Now, today we are beginning a new chapter, which is a chapter of blessings. Earlier I had told you that we have been blessed with a great sacred connect with Ram Janmabhoomi, Ayodhya. And I had asked all of you if anyone was interested in selfless service and getting connected and doing some work for enhancing and building the divine work. And many of you have responded. I have not been able to individually answer all of you, but then with time we will be looking into that. But today I'll give you a little, I'll throw some light on this Ayodhya issue. Actually, all of you doing your sadhana, your mantras for the last 3 years, I kept telling you that the beginning of 2023, Hanumanji, his energy, his presence came and manifested very strongly in my consciousness, and thereafter I started telling all of you to read the Hanuman Chalisa daily, the Sundar Kand on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and then for Guru Purnima I had advised you to write Sri Ram at least 108 times on Guru Purnima day, and thereafter continue as and when possible for you. Now, this blessing, this connect, this consciousness, as I keep telling you, that when we invoke the divine, when we do our prayers, when we do our sadhana, when we engage with the divine, that energy gets activated and becomes a living light in our lives. And in exactly this manner, the living light, the blessings of the Siddhas, the masters, has come to all of us for the viewers of this channel, because we have been blessed by the great saint, scholar, erudite personality, His Holiness Maharajsri Ramkinker Upadhyayji, who incarnated in the year 1924 and left his mortal body in the year 2002. 1999 he was awarded the Padma Bhushan. He is known as Yug Tulsi, and his commentaries and his dealing with Ramcharitmanas, Goswami Tulsidas's magnum opus, is regarded as the highest and the deepest analysis possible. And across India and globally, anybody who deals with Ramcharitmanas, anybody who is doing Ram Katha, always refers to Maharajsri's literature, his analysis, his books. He has written plenty of books, innumerable number of books. Now, he has established his ashram in Ayodhya, and when he left his mortal body in 2002, he left this ashram in the hands of his most deserving disciple, another highly revered illumined soul, Her Holiness Didima Upadhyayji Mandakini ji. Now, through Didima Mandakini ji, we have been blessed with the blessings of Maharajsri Ramkinker ji, and it is my endeavor, my effort now to reach out to more and more people through the English language, because the Bengali language in which I have been doing the videos so far has a restricted viewership because it the language barrier, and last few years everybody has been requesting me to make some videos in English. So from today, from this very auspicious day, we will begin this new journey where we will have these videos in English in which Ramcharitmanas, whatever His Holiness Maharajsri has written, has given to us, has left behind, those I will be discussing so that we can reach out. So there are so many people who have no idea of what's happening, and how Ramcharitmanas is a panacea, is a medicine, is a therapy for all of us. And you know, as you well know, that over the last 20 years, during my professional practice and my association and interaction with you through the TV media and thereafter on YouTube, I have always been mapping the planetary positions and their meanings and the quality of their energies with philosophies and sayings and teachings from the Vedas, from the Upanishads and other scriptural texts. So here what I will be trying my best to do is to, number one, translate and deliver what His Holiness Maharajsri has given to us, his legacy, and then the current planetary positions and how the energies are playing out, what the energies actually mean to us. As you all very well also know, that the very obsolete and very warped idea of astrology being just a predictive tool was also largely challenged by me long time back. And the fact that we have to take charge of our lives, we have to create our own destiny, which has been the teaching of my master, my Gurudev Shri Avadhut Shivanandaji. So that is the path in which we have been traveling since the last 3 to 4 years. That we do the mantras, we do the sadhanas so that we can challenge the planetary influences, we can change the course of our lives by changing the way we think, by changing the thoughts we create. And in this journey, a scripture like Ramcharitmanas helps us in the sense that this katha is a story, and a kathakar is a storyteller. So whatever has happened in the Treta Yuga, thousands of years ago, is not just a historical event, whatever has happened during the life of Sri Ramchandra is also applicable to our lives. And the lessons we have to pick up from whatever incidents happened during Sri Ramchandra's life, his birth in Ayodhya, his exile to the forest, his consorts Janaki Mata's abduction, his fight with Ravana. So everything, all the incidents have lessons for us. And these are the lessons which we must pick up. Now here when we talk of lessons, the first thing that comes to our mind from the zodiac is the planet Saturn. That Saturn is that great teacher who teaches us lessons. Now if we can learn the lessons from Ramcharitmanas, if we can learn the lessons from the legacy that His Holiness Maharajsri has left behind for us, then Saturn need not teach us any lessons at all. Because Saturn's lessons become very, very tough and difficult to process and accept. So the whole idea is to learn the lessons of life. Ramcharitmanas is the user manual of our life, which we must know so that we can conduct our lives in the correct manner. Higher spiritual goals, of course, exist, and dharma, artha, kam, moksha we know are the 4 goals of human life. But very simplistically, in a very easy manner, we must first learn to conduct our lives in such a way that our mind remains pure and we can achieve our objectives, achieve our goals and targets, and yet not get entangled and create the karmic load which we create every moment. Now, the last 20 years of my profession, as many of you well know, has been both on the TV media and then thereafter post-COVID on YouTube. I have had my goals set. I have achieved those goals. There have been many accolades. Predicting the coronavirus was one, and there have also been failures. But now is the time when I have the blessing, I have the privilege, the honor to serve the divine directly. And besides what we achieve in our life, all the material comforts, the pleasures, the material wealth, there is also something called a legacy which we have to leave behind. During our time on this planet, which is the Kal, which is governed by Saturn, that is the time when we work and we exist in the body and we create our lives. But after we leave our body, when we get into the domain of the Mahakal, that is when we are remembered by the legacy which we have left behind. And there is something called a lifetime achievement. Many illustrious people have been awarded the lifetime achievement. We all know, and we regularly see the distribution and award ceremonies. This new journey that we are beginning today, analyzing and bringing to you His Holiness Maharajsri's teachings, his literature, his comments, his commentary on Ramcharitmanas. I think this is a lifetime achievement award which the Divine has given to me, and I will try my best to do justice to this great opportunity that has been bestowed upon me. And I must tell you here one thing, that the English language which I have chosen, because a language which I can speak, read and write is a language which I will use as a tool. Now, compared with Bengali, the number of people who are aware of English, who know the English language, is far, far more in number. But the English language also has a difficulty and a limitation, that the scriptural nuances from the Sanatana Dharma, translation becomes very, very poor and inadequate. That is one limitation that we have to live with. And if necessary, in those situations, we will put in a little bit of Hindi and Bengali here and there to help us understand and grasp the essence of what is being said. So we will try to do that. Now, in our astrological understanding and astrological explanations, there are two gurus. One is Saturn, one is Jupiter. The quintessential guru is Jupiter, because he is the Dev Guru and he is the gentle guru. And when we do not imbibe and accept the wisdom that Jupiter is giving us, that is when Saturn comes into the picture and creates situations for us when learning the lessons become unavoidable, non-negotiable. We may avoid the lessons, the wisdom, the prudence which Jupiter brings to us, brings to our table. But with Saturn, there is no question of acceptance or refusal. It is non-negotiable. And we must remember that Saturn is known as time and kal, and the planet which delivers our karma. Through time, what we go through as life is nothing but experiences, which is called anubhav. And every experience itself is a guru. There are innumerable number of people who say that, who have not been initiated by a living guru so far. So they feel at a loss, they feel like orphans. So for them, I would say this, that every experience in your life is a teacher, is a guru. And in fact, if we can learn the lessons which life teaches us through every experience, every incident, good and bad, happy and sorrowful, in that event, life itself is the biggest teacher and time itself is the biggest healer. So what is important is that the scriptures tell us to take the position of a witness, Sakshi Bhav, that we should not react. The moment we react and we plunge into the experience with a preconceived bent of mind, that is when the experience factor, the learning factor is destroyed and we are unable to grow out of the experiences in life. Our growth, our development, our evolution is the fundamental essence of our birth. And growth, evolution and development must happen through each and every experience. Now, because we are unable to do it, that is why we need a guru and a teacher. First, we need our educational gurus, our teachers, or as we say, the Siksha Guru. Because the subjects which we learn in our academic career, it is not possible to be properly trained in all the subjects without a previously trained adept, as they say, appears and coaches us. So that coaching aspect is very, very important. Similarly, like the academic teachers, we also need life coaches. Now, we do have life coaches all over the place nowadays. But a spiritual master comes into our life to teach us the lessons which we are unable to learn, which we probably reject, we do not accept, and we do not have the knowledge. Our ignorance is the biggest barrier, is the biggest hindrance. So that ignorance, that avidya, is what the Guru, the Master, removes with the light of his wisdom. And on this Guru Purnima, which is a very, very special tithi, a very, very special location, and 2023 Guru Purnima becomes really a red letter day in our lives for all the viewers of this channel, because we have been so blessed by the Divine Himself, because His Holiness Maharajsri Ramkinker Upadhyayji was considered to be Yug Tulsi and an avatar of Hanumanji himself. You all can look up the Google and find out about him. You can look up his various pravachans, his talks on Ramcharitmanas. That will help you to understand. But his talks are all in Hindi. So in this channel, now we will start discussing him. As I said, we will start discussing him in English, translating whatever he has said and mapping his words with the planetary position. So the first planetary position which we will take up with His Holiness Shri Maharajsri Ramkinker Upadhyayji's explanations and his prime disciple, Her Holiness Didima Pujya Shri Mandakini ji, is the present Mars-Saturn opposition which is going on in Leo and Aquarius. And we will be discussing this in the light of Ramcharitmanas with the incident of Jatayu and his brother Sampati. All of us are aware of Jatayu, the great bird who challenged Ravan when he was abducting Janki Mata. But there are very few of us who are aware of Jatayu's sibling Sampati. So this sibling story of Sampati and Jatayu will give us an idea about how Mars and Saturn, the combined energy, becomes explosive, destructive and devastation oriented for us, and how it can actually be the most constructive and the most developmental energy. Where lies the difference? And that difference, that fine line, is actually drawn, brought out and shown to us by His Holiness Maharajsri Ramkinkar Upadhyayji. We will start with the explanations during the next video. Before I conclude, I would like to thank each one of my viewers for being a viewer of this channel, for traveling together and for understanding the meaning of life, which I have been trying to bring to each one of you in my most limited manner with my little knowledge. And I would conclude by mentioning two great poet singers. One is Mr. Bob Dylan. Many of you would be knowing him, would have heard about him, would be appreciating his songs. He has written a song called Gotta Serve Somebody. in which he writes, I will just quote the lyrics, few lines. You may be an ambassador to England or France. You may like to gamble. You might like to dance. You may be the heavyweight champion of the world. You might be a socialite with a long string of pearls. But you're going to have to serve somebody. Well, it may be the devil or it may be the Lord, but you're going to have to serve somebody. Now, this serving somebody is a very, very important factor. The devil or the Lord. The materialistic, pleasure-oriented, sensory perception, the indriyas, the life of ignorance which we lead is actually the devil which we are serving. That is the Ravan. And when we lead a life of tapasya and tyag, of sacrifice, of penance, then we are serving the Lord or Bhagavan Sri Ramchandra. That is the difference. That is the choice. That is the first elementary, rudimentary choice we make in our lives. And from there, our journey begins. So that is the choice we have to make. That we are going to serve the devil or the Lord. But we are going to have to serve somebody. And the next, of course, is my most favorite, and I have been quoting him off and on, is our Nobel laureate poet Tagore. In one of his songs he writes, this is a Bengali song, so non-Bengali viewers would find it difficult to understand, but I will try my best to translate it for you. স্বপন যদি ভাঙিলে রজনী প্রভাতে পূর্ণ করো হিয়া মঙ্গল কিরণে রাখো মোরে তব কাজে নবীন করো এ জীবন হে খুলি মোর গৃহদ্বার ডাকো তোমারি ভবনে স্বপন যদি ভাঙিলে রজনী প্রভাতে পূর্ণ করো হিয়া মঙ্গল কিরণে রাখো মোরে তব কাজে নবীন করো এ জীবন হে খুলি মোর গৃহদ্বার ডাকো তোমারি ভবনে. Now, Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, as we all know, was a very, very spiritually enlightened being. In these few lines, what he is actually this is a communion with the divine, where he says that if you have awakened me, স্বপন যদি ভাঙিলে রজনী প্রভাতে, at the end of the night when the sun rises and dawn appears. So when dawn appears, at that point the dream, the illusions of life, those illusions pass away and reality and the real knowledge dawns upon us with dawn. And we all know that in the Upanishads, in the Vedas, dawn, that timing, the Brahma Muhurta, the dawn, the Usha, is highly revered. So Tagore here basically is saying that if my illusory thoughts, my propensities, my tendencies, my attachments with the material world, if that has been severed by you in the dawn of enlightenment, then Purno karo hiya mongol kirane. Then that illumination, the light, the prakash, the jyoti, that is the light which I am requesting you to engulf my life with. Engulf my life, transfuse my life with that light of illumination. And rakho more tabo kaje. Let me be a servant. Let me serve you. Allow me to give up my own ego, my own will, and allow me, help me to assert your will, the divine will, which I keep talking about, that we all must aim. We all must try and keep this in mind, that the ego, the aham, which is the manager in our lives, that ego, that aham, must give up its position, and the Chaitya Purush, the psychic being, The divine must start managing our lives. Our own will, which keeps us attached with the material, illusory world of pain and sorrow. Our own will has to be given up, has to step down, and the divine will has to take over our lives. Rakho more tabo kaje. Only then we can do the divine work. So here, Tagore's communion with God, his plea, he is pleading, he is requesting, he is praying. So this Rakho more tabo kaje, that the divine will, the divine work, to be able to serve the Lord, I think this is what we have been able to achieve. The divine has blessed us. Our material pleasures, as I said the earlier moments of this video, that we all come to enjoy life, the comforts, the corporeal pleasures. We all want to eat, live and drink well, because tomorrow we may diet. But at the end of the day, what is most important, what makes the ordinary and the great different, is their contribution to the history of mankind and the legacy. An ordinary man, we keep saying, Ami khub sadharan, main to sadharan hu. So the difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary, the ordinary and the great, is actually the work that we do and the legacy which we leave behind. So the God Almighty, the divine, has given us this opportunity not only to fulfill our purusharths, dharma, artha, kam, moksha. He has not only given us the ability to fulfill the 4 goals of human life, but he has also blessed us to spread his word, his name, and he has also given us this opportunity to be able to discuss his life as written by Goswami Tulsidas ji in Ramcharitmanas. So this, I think, is the biggest award, is the biggest achievement, is the biggest grace, the kripa that a human being can get. We all should feel highly honored, privileged, blessed, and I hope this new journey which we are beginning from today will lead us to the destination, to the goal which we all aspire for. And of course, the divine blessing being there with us, we would not find it difficult. The journey should be smooth, and with each milestone that we cross, a little more of illumination, a little more of the great divine spark, the great divine light will illumine our lives, will remove iota and iota of ignorances which we have accrued through our lifetimes. And finally, I would again like to thank each one of you for all the mantras, for all the sadhanas that you have done for the last 3.5 years, 3 to 4 years, because of which the divine domain has been invoked, the divine has been the divine is pleased, as we read in the various mythological stories, the Puranas, that various gods and asuras used to do their penance, their sadhanas, and then Shiva or Brahma or Vishnu would be very pleased, and they would come, they would appear, they would manifest, prakat, and they would say, okay, I'm extremely pleased with your sadhana. Now, what is the boon that you want? What is it that you want? Ask, and you shall get it. So I think in a very similar way, as I said, that things we read about in our scriptures are not just historical events, but they can also become truths in our life. And this great journey that we begin on this very, very auspicious Guru Purnima Tithi is also the truth in our life which we all are experiencing. And I am sure that the journey ahead on this path of truth with the divine blessings is going to be a very, very illuminating and fulfilling one. Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta.